Hey everyone, in this video I want to go in more depth talking about removal procedure. And obviously removal is the last resort that you want to do for your client. This is a procedure for a client who really do not like their permanent makeup result, and they wanted to get it either lightened so they can redo or completely removed, and it would take many sessions. But in this video I want to showcase a removal procedure so you know what to expect when you do your own. Okay, keep watching. All right, I want to talk about what is the science behind a removal procedure. Now, I do saline solution removal. It's probably one of the most gentle way to remove a tattoo. What is saline solution removal? It's a osmosis process of molecules of a solvent passing through a membrane to achieve equalization. Now, I know it sounds like a lot of big words thrown around, but let me explain more in detail. So what happens during a saline solution removal procedure is I use a cosmetic tattoo needle to inject the saline solution. This is the saline solution. What really is saline solution is just basically a solution with a lot of salt content, right? So in our body, we naturally have salt content. So for example, underneath our ink right here, this is the removal part that we want to take away, the ink that we no longer want. We have natural salt content within our body. And what happens is naturally our body wants to achieve equilibrium, right? So once you inject a lot of salt content, naturally your body will start to push fluid up to where that salt content is, the very concentrated salt content, to equalize everything. And in the process of your body pushing up fluid and salt, it will then lift out the pigment. It will actually go through all of the ink. Because what is really a tattoo when it's healed? It's these ink molecules that is protected by a permeable membrane. That's your microphagia, which is one of your, it's part of your immune system. But it is made of a permeable membrane, which means fluid and salt content will go through it, right? So as the body fluid goes up and tries to equalize itself, it will begin to push the ink particle up into the skin. And also during this procedure, because the skin is a little bit traumatized, it will form a scab. Now the scab will also try to suck up some of that ink that we no longer want. So of course with one procedure, it is not realistic to actually lift out all of the ink. It will lift out some of the ink, but not all of it. Especially if your previous artist implanted the ink really deep into the skin. Now, when it goes through a lifting process, it might lift up to right here, right after your first procedure. And the result will be, hey, I don't see any difference. Like, it didn't even look lightened. Well, it's part of the process. What happens is it is lifting out of the skin, but it's not completely out of the skin just yet. So you do need another session so your body can lift the ink out even more. And as soon as it passes your epidermis, right, then that's when the ink is actually gone from inside of your skin. And that's when you'll actually see lightening results or completely removed results. I hope that kind of explains what exactly is saline solution removal. And if you want to learn more, you can watch the complete video. Hey everyone, I have Anna here. She's sweet enough to showcase her eyebrows that she wants to get removed. Obviously, this is the last resort that somebody wants to do because they're unhappy with their eyebrows, but she's willing to help me do a case study on her eyebrows. So I'm gonna help her proceed with removal procedure and also eventually put on ombre powder brow to cover her existing work. So I'm gonna be interviewing her of some questions that will help you as well. Okay, so Anna, what procedure did you get done?
I got done microblading for my brows. At the beginning, I asked the technician if I could get ombre powder brows, but she told me my skin was too oily, so she ended up doing the microblading.
Okay. So I just want to clarify that ombre powder brow is actually more suitable for somebody that has oily skin. Microblading is actually not suitable for people who have oily skin, because what happens eventually, the oil underneath our skin starts to spread the ink out, and the stroke no longer look like a very sharp stroke. It just looks like a blob of ink, right? And then if you think about it, if strokes are side by side with each other but eventually blurs out, then everything will just be glued together and no longer look natural. How long ago did you get it done?
I got this a year ago, and I thought it was gonna get lighter throughout time, but it's just shrinking.
Yeah, okay. So that also happens very often, is some people, when they get microblading done, over time, instead of it seeing it lighten, it actually gets darker somehow. And that's one of the indications that maybe the strokes are slightly too deep into the skin. And that is why over time it actually appears to be darker. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience when you got microblading done?
When I got it done, she first numbed my brows, and she numbed my brows, and then it started hurting a little bit, so she added more numbing cream. I had to wait about 30 minutes for it to act up, and then
she drew on the shape first though, right?
Yeah, she did.
Okay, and you approved the shape.
I approved the shape. Oh, she also shaved my brow a little bit, which I didn't like, because then now my brows are a little bit thinner, and before they used to be thicker, and I like thicker brows.
Oh, okay. Was the procedure painful to you?
Yes.
It was painful. Okay. And how long was the procedure from beginning to end?
Like 1 month and a half. The recovery, right?
No, like the actual procedure when you went in.
Oh, 1 hour?
1 hour? Okay, oh, that's actually really fast. Okay. And then the recovery in terms of scabbing and then the peeling, how long did that take?
2 weeks and a half.
2 weeks and a half? So that's more than 14 days. Okay. Okay, that sounds about right. So usually with microblading, typically, yeah, it takes about 7 to 14 days for the recovery process. Now, usually if the technician went slightly deeper, it will take longer for you to heal. Because what basically this is a micro cut into the skin, right? So the deeper the cut, the more traumatized your skin is, and the longer it takes for you to heal. When did you start to notice the change of your eyebrows?
When, I'll say 5 months after getting my brows done, I saw that the size was shrinking. And after my first session and after my touch-up, I did go back for her to correct my brows because I didn't like the shape. And she also noticed that they were shrinking.
Okay, so it started to shrink like 5 months in.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's also very typical when it comes to microblading, is that basically what this means is she placed the stroke in, but not the entire stroke is the same depth. So maybe the top and the bottom portion of the stroke was more shallow, right? So those ink disappeared first. And in the middle, when you go heavier handed in the middle, that's why the stroke is still there. And now it's looking darker because the middle part is basically too deep into the skin. What do you not like about your eyebrows right now?
Oh, well, I don't like the fact that it's not even. The shape is not even, and they're shrinking very fast.
Okay.
Yeah, I also don't like the color because at the beginning it didn't even match with my hair, and I never thought it was a big thing until my friends started telling me that it didn't match. So now I have to do my brows as I used to before.
Every day, yeah. So obviously the whole point of getting permanent makeup done is so it saves time, and then it just becomes such a chore if now you have to cover your previous tattoo, right? What is the transformation you want to seek with your new pair of eyebrows or with removal process?
Well, I would like to get a lighter color natural look, and I just want it to be even.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you.
You can really see how thick the strokes has become. Also, it got so thick that basically, you know, it's all just blurred out at this point. It's just one block of color. Look at these strokes. Yeah, these have definitely blurred out by quite a bit. It's looking good. This is what you expect. It's starting to look a little bit red, right? There's a little bit of bleeding. Add the solution, and this is the part that's gonna burn like crazy. Okay?
Oh my god. Oh my god, it does burn.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah, this is the part that everyone hates.